Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Honestly, I did not know what to say right now. We've just lost to Fulham 2-1. I better start off with crediting Fulham because they were a much better team today. I thought Arsenal went up for it, and I'm going to talk about Arsenal in a minute, but I just want to give that credit to Fulham because, when they had their chances, they took them, and there were some really good chances. And I think as a team, they're a team that I respect, and I like how they play. And I've got to give them that credit because, as much as how bad Arsenal were, Fulham did seem up for it today, and I know they needed that win. It was an important win for them. So credit to them and the team for how they got that, and the manager. That would be a big victory for them. But honestly, I do not know what's going on with Arsenal at the moment. I just can't believe it. Like, we've lost 2 games in a row, and I can accept losing as part of football, but the way that we're performing is just unacceptable. Like, I don't know what is going on with us at all. Hey Phil, how are you doing? I hope you're okay. It's hard to sum up what that defeat is, honestly. Now, Arsenal really do seem to lack ideas. Yeah, we didn't deserve anything out of that game. Um, at half time, I was hoping Arteta would give them a kick up the backside and give them a big talk. But in the second half, I just felt like we were the same as the first half. Like, we just didn't seem up for it. And I don't know why we're not up for it. I mean, the West Ham game, I was really hoping we would learn from our mistakes. And to be honest, the first 10 minutes, you could say we did seem to have this energy. We had some desire and determination in the game. And obviously, Saka scored that goal. I know it was a tap-in, but you've got to take these goals, and that'll be great for his confidence. But we after that, we just really we just didn't seem up for it after that, which I don't get why, because we should be up for it and we're in a title race. At least I thought we are. I mean, I'm not going to say we're not because things change in football, but it was really disappointing to see how we were. The final third is my big problem with Arsenal, is that we'll get the ball and people are working us out too much. Teams are working us out. West Ham did it. Fulham are doing it. And obviously Fulham did deserve to win, like Phil said, and they were better than us, but we made them look so much better than what they actually were. Like, we're making players, teams that are actually doing okay look excellent when we shouldn't be doing that. Too many soft players trying to play beautiful football and a complete lack of steel and fun in the penalty box. Yeah, the final third for me, do not know what is going on there. We're really struggling in that aspect. Like, when we get in there, Saka, for me, I love him, and I've said he's my favourite player. But he had this chance, and he just blew it right over the crossbar. And I'm just thinking, like, it wasn't easy tapping. I don't get why. We can't just do the simple things. We can't just score goals. Like Phil said, instead of trying to make it look beautiful and nice football, just take your chances. Like, for me, I'm just really frustrated with that game. It really is a difficult one to take. I would say I'm surprised, because I am, because I just expect us to do a lot better than what we have been doing. But yeah, I just think we're lacking a bit of creativity as well. Like, we just don't have a plan B. That's my problem with this team, is that we're not really having many ideas, and we're really struggling with that, and that is something I'm a bit worried about. We had this problem in the West Ham game, and we're still having this problem now. Yeah, and obviously we know today Arteta did change it up, and to be honest, I do like it when when managers change a team, because Arteta's got to recognise things aren't working. So Eddie came in for Jesus, and the problem is, if Jesus is out of form and we bring in Eddie, for me, I don't think that will really change things. But, I would do respect Arteta for changing that. But Zinchenko looked to have an injury. Kivior came in today. And do you think fans are a bit harsh on Kivior? Because let's just be real about one thing. Kivior hasn't played for ages. He's not a left back. He's a centre back. And he's had to play somewhere that he's probably not comfortable playing. So for me, it's a difficult one. We're picking up a lot of injuries now, and we don't have that cover in certain positions. So, yeah, I think it's really tough right now. Not everyone has a striker's instinct yet. None of our players have it. Yeah. Neil says we need Tony a focal point in the attack so we can whip crosses to him, and we can't play through teams every week. Yeah, we are definitely lacking a striker because I know that say Odegaard, he's really good at whipping crosses into the box. Same with Saka, and if you just have a header on that, you'll score goals, which Ivan Toney can do. We need a striker for sure. If we don't sign a striker in January, I'm going to question why, because it's clear to see we should be doing that. We've signed so many players, we spent so much money, and for me, we've got to make the most of it now. Arteta's plan B is the same as Wenger's plan B is plan A. Yeah, I mean, do you know what I really can't get? And maybe you guys might have the same, worries as me, but why doesn't Smith Rowe get a chance? Like, are we missing something? Like, I don't get it at all. He's obviously had a few injuries. He got an injury again, but I don't know if he did come on today. I don't remember him playing, but in the other game he came on in like the 77th minute, and I'm like, for me, I do think Arteta doesn't really bring players on until the 70th minute, and for me, I get that he wants to believe in the players and give them more time, but I think the 60th minute you should really change it. If they're not impacting from the start of the second half, then you've got to take them off. Yeah, Raya. You know what? It's a tough one because I'm worried. I'm gonna just see this. Yeah, it is a loan, so I don't know what we're gonna do, but I am concerned about how many goals we've conceded. Like, not just today, but genuinely in the last few games. Like, Raya does make some good saves, you can't deny that. And today he did make a good one, which I did think was going to go in. But for me, like, the amount of goals we're conceding is too much for my liking. Like, I know, like, getting those 3 points is important, but also clean sheets are important, and we're not doing that. I don't know, really don't know what's going on. Hello, Chris. Hope you're okay. Lovely to see you, and I hope you have a happy New Year too. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I'm just really confused. Like, something's missing, and I can't put my finger on what's going on because it's not just one player that's underperforming. You can't just blame Eddie. For me, Eddie, Trossard, Saka, Martinelli. For me, I could say all of them are not doing well. And yeah, defensively as well, we're not at it. And I can't figure out why. I mean, Saliba, Gabriel have made a few individual mistakes recently. But, I saw a moment in the game which I thought was kind of hard to see where Declan Rice, let me see if I find it on my phone because I'm going to show you it. It was like where Declan Rice and Gabriel were like having a bit of an argument, and I just thought you didn't really see that. I mean, let me find it. Yeah, it's just like this moment here where they just like, you don't really ever see that with them too. So for me, like, it's just surprising to see things that aren't working out defensively because we know how solid Saliba, Gabriel is. But you know what, as well, fullbacks as well, that's another problem because Ben White, I do think he has picked up an injury and he's obviously going through it because we don't have Timber, we don't have Tomiyasu. Obviously, Tomiyasu's back now, but before this, we didn't have him. So I feel like for me, we are in a sticky situation with our fullbacks. You know what I would say about Zinchenko? We did miss his transitional play. We missed his, like, what he offers going forward. The problem with Zinchenko is defensively is his weakness, and if he sorts that out, then we will really do well. But yeah, I do think that's a big worry about defensively. Arteta's ego won't let him change Raya for Ramsdale. I mean, I do think Raya is a good goalkeeper. I'm not taking that away from him, but I do feel like at the moment he is conceding a lot of goals. I'm not saying he's to blame for that, but he is partly to blame. You have to admit that. Got to go, so as I've got to squeeze another pod in before the love of my life calls. No worries. Have a lovely, happy New Year, Phil, and I'm sure we'll catch up soon. But yeah, I think is a bit of a big issue, isn't it, really, defensively? I just don't know what's going on in our club right now. I feel like we're in a bit of a mess. And I couldn't tell you where we go from here. I mean, we have Smith Rowe on the bench, but For me, when we brought the players on, I can't say they did a big impact either. Like Trossard, Reece Nelson, I don't feel like they did a lot either. We're really struggling. I know Partey will be back soon, and I do feel like we're really missing him. But I just, I feel like we're lacking this chemistry, like on the pitch in most areas, especially in our attack. I do think, as I spoke to Graham, who did a video the other day, um, we really do. We're lacking this. The players don't seem to have as much freedom as they used to. Like because our style of play has changed, we're very slow in our attack at the moment, and we're really struggling going forward. And someone like Martinelli, that is really going to affect how he plays because he really likes, he likes that freedom of going forward. Like Man City goal he scored, I know there was a deflection, but you could see how much freedom and how much enjoyment he had playing so far up the pitch. And yeah, I just feel like that's why he's struggling. But I just felt we didn't really have a lot of urgency, and I can't understand why. Because for me, we're going for the league. Why wouldn't you have that urgency? It really, I do feel worried. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I don't know where we go from here. But I feel like we must have this urgency. We must show that more because it's so important that we have it. If we are going to win the league, but we do have to sign a striker. That is like a must for me because we do have Jesus, we do have Eddie, but they just cannot shoot really. Jesus did have a chance in the game, but it wasn't really didn't have many other ones, and it was a bit of a hard one for him to get to. But I don't think Eddie Nketiah really had the service anyway, if I'm being honest. Um, he had an odd chance, which probably was hard for him to get to, but I don't think it's fair on him either. He didn't get many chances in that game. Yeah, midfield is a big part to play in that. But yeah, it was an awful performance to get to the league top four. Would be a struggle if we don't sign a striker. Oh, it's just so frustrating that we're at this point now. We've gone from, if we won today, I know that this wouldn't be a great thing in general, but being top of the league at the moment for New Year is something to smile about. I know Liverpool would have overtaken us if they win the game against Newcastle, but like we're falling behind, and we really need to think of ways to pick ourselves up, and we do really need to like change things because honestly it isn't good right now, and we just seem to be lacking this cohesion, aggression, and that sign of urgency in the game. Because when we scored that first goal, I did think we could have easily got a few more after that, but for some reason after that I felt like we were a bit flat. We allowed them to get back in the game. We were quite sloppy on the ball, and we're finding that we're really struggling to kind of dominate it, like keep on hold of the ball. We're giving it away too much, which is one of my biggest concerns. But as I mentioned before, like when we are passing, they're not like our passes aren't connecting. We look a bit like we're lacking that energy, and I feel like for me, yeah, I do agree with this comment. We don't seem the same as last season, and I can't figure out why. Yeah, we just don't look like we're playing the same football as last season. And I've said, from the start of the season, we did do really well. We were finding ways to win. We look more mature, and I do still stand by that. But I feel like in the last maybe 3 or 4 games, we're really kind of struggling with that creativity aspect of the game. We're struggling to get through defenders, and we're making teams that are actually okay look excellent. And West Ham, that we made them look better than what they were. Obviously, they deserve that win, but for me, I don't get why we're doing this, and I am concerned. I think we're probably sat in fourth, but yeah, Man City will probably overtake us now. It is a really difficult time to be an Arsenal fan. I just think if we don't sign a striker in January, I don't know what we'll do. I think if we did sign a striker, I would be quite confident we could win the league because, like I spoke to Graham, who was saying how, Man City have Haaland, Liverpool have Mo Salah, and obviously a few others, but we don't have that because Jesus can't probably give us that. He gets injured a lot as well. You need a natural centre midfielder, striker, and yeah, the bench is a big problem because say today with Jesus not playing, Eddie comes on, and I knew by looking at that, I knew Eddie probably wouldn't give us what we need in the game. And I'm not going to blame a lot on him because he didn't get the service that he needed. And as a striker, you need that. You need those crosses in the box. So I can't just blame him. But I knew that with our squad depth, we probably wouldn't have enough, up front to kind of score a lot of goals. But I do kind of feel worried about when we scored, we kind of switched off again. And when you score one, you need to keep on going. And we did allow Fulham back in the game, which was hard to watch. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It was painful to see how good they looked and how poor we looked. Hey Ross, hope you're okay and hope you have a happy new year. No depth and no idea. Yeah, I can't argue with that really. The depth is quite bad. We're just really lacking it. Yeah, this is what I've said. But we're being too predictable because what I've said, right? I love Saka and he is one of probably my favourite players. But whenever he's on the ball, whenever he gets near the box, you kind of can predict what he's going to do. And I do appreciate that he does actually give things a go, and he did score today. Martinelli obviously did well in that moment, but I just feel like you can't just blame one player as well because you know what? Trossard, like I said, Trossard, Martinelli, Saka, Jesus, Eddie, they're all just off. They don't seem to, the passes don't seem to be connecting at all. And like Russ said, the depth is probably a big problem, and we just seem to be lacking ideas. Like I don't feel like we have a plan B. So if like today when it went wrong, we don't have anyone to bring on to change things really that can make that impact. I don't know why Trossard is being off. I'm not going to just blame him, but when he comes on, he usually can make that impact. I can't understand why he isn't. It is a concern. I just don't know where we go from here. I mean, I'm glad for the break from Arsenal. We play on the 7th, I think. And we've got Liverpool at home in a cup game, so God help us there. We do need to win that. And I just feel so annoyed at the moment. But for me, when I'm watching Arsenal, I feel like we're doing too many touches, too many passes. We're very slow in our transition, and I think that's affecting how the players are playing. I don't think they're enjoying it, and you can really see that in their performances. And you know what? Saliba actually did make a few mistakes today. He got that yellow card, could have been sent off. I know Raya did kick the ball out, but he literally passed it to a Fulham player, and he is being a bit sloppy. Maybe he's not comfortable at the back, No one really stood out today. Rice tried late on, but it wasn't enough. Yeah, you know what? If I think about who had a good game, I'm not sure I could probably name a few players because I think it's not individual. It was overall as a team we weren't good enough, and as a team I can't even say one. It was just one player that did bad because I think the whole team kind of let us down a bit. I think Havertz in the first half, up until they scored, he had good moments. Yeah, I can't exactly tell you. I think one player did well. Yeah, it's. I just feel like if I don't laugh, I'll cry at this point. It was so bad. I know Ryan did make a good save, but to be honest, at that point, we knew we'd lost. At that point, so it's like game over. It's like when he made that penalty save. Um, we just knew that it was great, and I'm sure it helped us confidence. But we'd lost against West Ham, so it kind of didn't mean much to us then. But we really need to think of what we're going to do next fast. Anyway, rant over, lol. You're doing a great job. Oh, thank you so much, D Reviewer. Lovely to see you on here. I hope you do have a happy new year too. Sorry, Arsenal couldn't, make it happy for you, but honestly, I don't know what to say about this club right now. I do miss the Arsenal women team because whenever Arsenal, the men do let us down, we can rely on the women's team. So yeah, I'm just so frustrated at what I'm seeing. I can't understand what's going on either, like why it's going wrong for us at the moment. Because like I've said, it's not just one person that's bad, it's a whole team. I feel like we're not doing good. Um, yeah, I don't know really. I mean, I feel like with Odegaard, I'd like to see a bit more from him, but I suppose like it's really hard, especially in midfield. If I do miss Partey sometimes, I won't lie to you guys. I do. I think having him, he really elevates the team. We're like a different team when he's playing. Um, and obviously Timber, I think he's back in March. And Tomiyasu did come back in the second half. I was really happy with Arteta for doing that actually. I feel like that was the right move from him. But obviously Tomiyasu just tried to adjust in the game. I didn't think he did brilliantly, but I didn't think he did bad. I thought he was just okay. But yeah, I think the fullback position is something that is a bit of a worry for me. Like, I don't know if we should sign someone in January in that position, possibly. I mean, we know Tierney's on loan, but we know that Tierney gets injured so much. We know that I don't know if Arteta would call him back to come back in the team. Um, yeah, I feel really devastated. I'm not gonna lie. I did want us to win the league, and I'm not saying we're not gonna win the league because things do change like that in the Premier League, and it does happen. So I'm not writing us off completely, but at this moment in time, I'm not feeling confident, and that's my biggest concern. Yeah, we're literally sat on fourth. Spurs are a point behind us. I just feel like we could have done so much better. If we won today, we would have been top of the league. And you know what? I can accept a bad performance against West Ham, but it's another bad performance, and it's about where we go from here. We do obviously have Liverpool in the cup, Crystal Palace, then Nottingham Forest, and then Liverpool again. I feel like if we won't win the league, we do have to win a trophy. I do want us to go for the FA Cup because I feel like in the FA Cup we have put a very weak team out in recent seasons, and I feel like we should just go for that. And the Champions League as well, we're doing quite well in that. I do think we should aim high for that as well. I think we should absolutely go for it, because we do actually have performed well in the Champions League with Jesus as well. His performances have been top tier. They've been brilliant. So I feel like if things don't work out in the league, we definitely need to go for those trophies. I've said it's a must, like a requirement that we get a trophy this season. Like I know fans have questioned if we don't get a trophy, should Arteta move on? And you know what? Arteta has spent a lot of money, and we do want to see silverware at the club. We do expect big things of him. But for me, I do feel like he's the right fit for Arsenal. I feel like he understands the values, but my only worry about him is that he can be very rigid. Like when he's made his mind up, you can't really change it. Maybe you might struggle to admit he's in the wrong sometimes. So yeah, I think for me, that is a bit of a concern. I do respect and admire Arteta and what he's done, but I just worry about what happens next because I've said, like I said, trophies are massive for the club. And if we lose another game, we'll be out of that top four race. Well, at the moment, because Spurs seem to be winning. I know they did lose against Brighton, but they won today 3-1. And Newcastle, Liverpool win, they'll be flying at the top. But how we are this season, we are completely different to how we were last season. That does hurt to see. I did want us to keep maintaining it. Obviously, last season, it was really devastating how we ended it after a great season. But yeah, I just feel like we've really, really got to maintain where we are. Keep, trying to fix things. But I do feel like we should maybe consider bringing Ramsdale back because I just feel like he made the odd mistakes, but I just see him as an excellent goalkeeper. I don't think Raya is to blame for a lot of things. I feel like, yes, we conceded a lot of goals, but I wouldn't say it's all on him. do think defenders in the midfield do have to take responsibility, but we definitely have to change things up. Smith Rowe definitely has to really, really, come on, give it a chance. I mean, the whole winger stuff, they're just not connecting. They're just not really. I don't feel like they're trying, but it's just not working. Like, it's almost their hard work isn't enough right now, and defenders are definitely working them out. But yeah, I just think Kai Havertz today, I saw the lineup and I thought Kai Havertz would have been a bit better, but ultimately as a team, we're just not really doing what we need to be doing, which obviously is a concern. Um, yeah, I am worried, but it's hard. Yeah, I think the depth is a big issue right now. Um, I feel like Raya, do I think he has improved us? I'm not sure he has. And we've also got, if you look at our bench, we've got players that have been on loan and have come back, like Cedric, and also we've got the Congo who's still out. And yeah, I think with Jesus, his lack of goal scoring right now is a big issue for us because we obviously have been relying on Saka, Martinelli to score goals. But they obviously, are struggling, and we do need more from our strikers. We can't just rely on Saka to carry the team all the time. We do need that from the strikers' positions. But yeah, I mean, with Arteta, I do think, and him and Eddie deserve credit because a lot of the signings have paid off, have worked out. But I look at a son like Jorginho and I think, why doesn't he get more time in midfield? Like, yeah, he's probably not our first choice, but when we've got injuries with Partey, I feel like he probably is the best what we have. For me, I feel like he can help us with that possession, keep the ball, which is what we're really struggling with. And I can't really understand why Arteta isn't giving like him any chances, personally. And yeah, I just think a few of our lone players, you look at Tavares, Pablo Mari, Turner, they just haven't worked out as well. We have spent a lot of money, do have to question that. But yeah, I just think right now, January is massive for us in being successful this season. I think we do need more than one signing. I think, like Chris mentioned before, I think we probably need a striker, centre midfielder, and for me, I'd probably even get a left back. Because in the future, Timber will be okay. Tomiyasu probably will improve his fitness, but right now we are struggling. And I didn't really agree with sending Tierney on loan, to be honest, because I think as an Arsenal fan, I want him to stay for backup, but I do get for him and his career, he probably needed to get more game time, but it has left us short right now. And that's obviously not really helping our season. And it's just, yeah, we're just a mess. And I also don't think was right as well is that Arteta brought Martinelli off, and I thought probably Saka should have came off then. And I feel like Saka probably needs a bit of a rest now. I'm not saying I think we should bench him, but I just think he should come off a bit earlier, in my opinion, because he is getting exhausted. It is a lot for him, and ultimately, we are struggling. And I would change things up. I'd probably go out there, change things. Reece Nelson, I know people might not think he's an ideal backup to what we have, but I feel like he's better than nothing, and he just showed that passion, that commitment, to this team, and he does bring us the energy that we need. So I feel like we should be open to, bring them on. Why not bring him on a bit earlier in the 60th minute? Something soon. I think he definitely deserves that. But yeah, definitely not a nice result for Arsenal. Not a nice way to end this year. I do hope you guys do have a happy new year. I'm just gutted Arsenal have performed this way, and I just can't understand why we are playing so bad. But I just hope when we play Liverpool at the Emirates in the cup game, I feel like for me we've really got to go for the FA Cup, because the FA Cup is a big trophy. It's a trophy that I really love and respect, and um, I think we've really got to go for the FA Cup. We need to see silverware back at this club. In my opinion, we really need it. And it has been a while since we won something. And no, I think it might have been during lockdown. We did win the FA Cup before Teta, and we did deserve that. We were excellent. But after that, I did think we'd have won a lot more than what we won. I know last season we got so close to the league, but it is a real disappointment. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. We do need to improve big time. But yeah, this is my little rant over. I feel a bit better for talking to you guys. It's been really lovely. Yeah, I do agree with you, Chris. I mean, if you look at players like Saliba, Gabriel, Saka, and Martinelli, Odegaard, like they deserve silverware. Um, and I'm not worried about it now because we're actually acting like a big club and we're actually performing like a big club. But if we aren't going to win anything for a few years, it wouldn't be fair on them, would it? So I think we've got to really sort ourselves out, fix the problems that we're having. And we won't know this, but whatever's going on behind the scenes, something isn't right. And I don't know what it is. But things aren't clicking and the players seem a bit frustrated with each other. So I feel like for me, we've really got to fix this right now. But yeah, we'll be back on the 7th. Arsenal play Liverpool again, and we play Liverpool a few weeks after. So not easy, but I think if we did lose that game, I would be really hurt because, like Chris said, these players need a trophy, and this would be a great shot at a trophy, and it's what we need, is what the club needs. So yeah, I think that's what I want right now going forward. We've just got to win that. But we know how difficult it is. I would like to see Ramsdale get a chance, but I just don't know if that would happen. But yeah, we've got to really spend big in January for us to have a good season. But yeah, guys, I'm going to leave it here. Let you guys enjoy your evening. Big thank you to everyone who has tuned in. Please do, if you can, do hit the like button. Do subscribe. I'm really grateful for all your support this year, in general. Hope 2024 will be a great year for you guys. Happy and healthy year for you all. I will probably be back next week just to talk about the game because I probably need to do another therapy session. I'm not going to lie. That game was not a good one. But yeah, have a happy new year, guys. You all, and I will see you all very soon.